What is up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Cheese Talk podcast. I'm live with Sports and Smoke. What is going on, man? Long time no
How's it
see.
going? Yeah, it's
It's
been a
going.
while since we've been on a pod. And again, last season or beginning of the off season or something like that. I can't remember the last time we talked, but I'm glad we're back.
Yeah, pretty sure it was last season at some point. I think it was just like the early last off season. I'm pretty sure it was. And so, yeah, what's going on in Bear Country?
1 and 2. There's
Yeah,
a win in there.
right.
31-14 with the Cowboys. I mean, I understand, Cowboys defense, but it's, football is football any given Sunday. That's how we gotta look at it. So I mean, I'm still riding off the high of 31 points. We just gotta bring it to Vegas.
Yeah,
So I'm excited about that. How about you guys? I mean, Micah Parsons, you got future
yeah,
hopeful Matthew Golden, who could have ran it all the way, got to the sideline.
yeah.
How
He's
you
a
feeling
rookie.
on that?
Uh I'm happy with 2-1. It could be 3-0, but I mean, like you're talking about, people are like, "Oh, it's just the Browns," but yeah, Miles Garrett has the same effect as Micah Parsons has. He makes everybody on the defense better. And I've always said, if you can get to that quarterback within that 2 to 3 second window, you're going to force the quarterback to make early decisions, and hopefully he makes mistakes. And that's, you know, Jordan Love had no option. He was getting the ball in shotgun, and he already had the defense giving him pressure. So it's, you got to move on and learn from your losses.
I mean, you guys also have injuries stacked up on your offensive line too, don't you? What, your left and your right tackle, Zach Tom, he was hurt with his torn oblique, and then you had Walker too. He
Yeah.
ended up leaving the game with an injury too. So the offensive line falling apart on a really good Browns defense probably had no help either.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, next man up. That's all you can do. They're paid professionals to go in and perform a duty, and that's all you can hope for, right?
And that's kind of what we got going on right now because we have Darnell Wright out for Sunday, the starting right tackle. And my fan base is on the edge of why isn't our second round pick starting and our undrafted free agent out of Theo is starting. And that's a whole other topic that is going around Bears Twitter right now. So yeah, our starting right tackle's out, who of course we're going to be lining up Theo Bennett from Max Crosby. So that's going to be a game to watch, at least on the right side.
Yeah, it's next man up. You want to have all your starters in there, but I mean, it's a long season, and hopefully they can get healed up and come back and perform for you. It's all you can hope for.
Right. And with the bye coming up, I get it. Sit them. Don't push the issue if you can at least sit them and not put them anywhere and just let them rest. And I mean, Theo has been showing out. I think he has zero pressures on the starts that he had covered for Darnell Wright the game. So I don't know. I trust the coaches. I trust Ben to make the right decisions. So I'm here
Right?
for the
Yeah,
ride now.
for sure. What I was going to ask you, what are your thoughts on how last season went, and what were you thinking going into the draft, and what are your thoughts on the Bears draft this last year?
Well, I will be honest. I was not expecting tight end. I was thinking they were going to draft either a left tackle to replace Braxton Jones, and I was really trying to push for an edge as well because we really don't have an answer at edge sitting across from Montez Sweat. Deo Odangbo has been good. He was our free agent signing that we've got. He's been putting on some pressures, but the sacks really aren't there. So really, I was hoping for edge mostly, but Colston Loveland, once he starts getting going and understanding the whole offense, he was a beast at Michigan and in the yards after catch. And of course, he was a giant red zone threat as well for Michigan. So if Ben can figure out a way to unlock that later into the year of his rookie season or into next year, I'll be okay with the pick. It's just not the pick I was expecting.
Yeah, for sure. Um, yeah, it's just Ben Johnson coming in. I mean, do you think he's going to carry over a lot of things that he did in Detroit as far as his play calling?
Well, we witnessed it a little bit with the Cowboys with the flea flicker. I mean,
Yeah,
he's starting to get in his bag a little bit with the trick plays because he did say at the beginning the trick plays will come. It's just that if he trusts his players enough to do so, and I guess the trust is happening. He managed to pull off, I think, two or three fancy little trick play, but of course the flea flicker is what everybody's talking about because 65 yards on a flea flicker on a botched pass back from DeAndre Swift and it made it up working. I feel like we're starting to hit a curve. We just got to keep the fire that we had last week coming into this week.
Right. What are your thoughts on the reports going around how they had dummy down the system for Caleb Williams, the offensive playbook?
Well, I think you have to dumb down the system a little bit, especially with a offensive minded head coach who's putting everything together all at once. Because now Caleb has to get rid of the old system he learned this year and now learning to this system. And everybody in the league knows Ben Johnson's offensive scheme is complicated as hell. So to rip it all down from the studs and then work your way up, work your way up, work your way up, work your way up just to see if Caleb can understand things, that's the best thing he can do then. I don't mind a little build up from here to here to here. Like we said, Ben Johnson's system is pretty complicated.
Right, like you said, dummy it down to have it make sense, and then as the season goes on, you throw in more wrinkles, and then
Yep.
it'll all come together. Hopefully, not against the Packers.
That's part of the installments that we were talking about is that installments come here and there. Everybody knows your first 10, 15 plays of your first drive is all scripted. And then that's when you start calling out the improvised plays right on the spot, audibles right there. And that all comes down to trust between the head coach and Caleb Williams. And even though we started off 0-2, we still put up 20 something plus points. Caleb has 7 touchdowns, 1 interception. He has 776 passing yards. Like, he has better stats than Jordan Love at the moment. I just wish their winning records were there.
Yeah. When you have a game that you lose 13-10, you really can't. What do you have? Like 186 yards passing, a touchdown, and a pick. I mean, I think Jordan Love he'll progress as the season goes on. It's still the season's young, 1 loss. I mean, there's 14 more games. It's
Right. You guys had the same bye week as us? You got week 5?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's an early bye too. And then we have to worry about the next all the rest of the games the rest of the year. I hate early buys.
Right. You mentioned injuries. One that I think we can't forget about is Jaden Reed. When he broke his collarbone against the Commanders, he was also dealing with that Jones fracture in his foot, and he was going to let that go throughout the whole season and, whatever, play through it. But now when he had his collarbone surgically, whatever, they did his Jones fracture too, so he can heal from both injuries before he comes back. So I think that, shall I say, a blessing in disguise, but I mean, it sucks that he got hurt, but at the same time, he got both of his injuries taken care of at the same time. So hopefully he can come back 100% and make a positive impact for the Packers, for sure.
That's how it is with Jalen Johnson as well. When he went out during the Cowboys game, I think it was.
Yeah.
I can't remember what game it was that he got injured, but we thought he was going to be on IR and miss the rest of the season. And then he went and saw a specialist and said it was just surgery that can be done. He can be back later in the year. So that, like you said, is a blessing in disguise. A really bad, serious injury that you think is going to put him out, and the surgeon says, "Oh yeah, I can fix him. You're fine. You can play later." So yeah. I'm hoping that's the case.
Yeah, it sucks, and it just our wide receiver group is they're young, but I think they're pretty productive. I mean, we got Romeo Doubs, you got Golden. Hopefully, he can kind of step in and get better every week by week. And then you got Wicks and Malik Heath is making some good catches. And
where's Savion?
He's in there returning kicks and doing like the Wildcat formation, and which it's crazy because I've being a Green Bay fan for how many years, and it's like you've never seen the Wildcat formation. Then you bring him in and you're running the Wildcat formation and actually getting positive yardage out of it. So I think that's kind of cool how they're throwing in wrinkles, for him as well. But he's going to be good too once he hits his stride, I think.
I talked to a few Packer fans myself, and a lot of them are kind of like on the spectrum of, yeah, we love our young wide receiver group, but we wish there was a veteran in there somewhere that can, not show them ropes because they have NFL playing experience, but like what veterans will see versus what a young core won't see. You know what I mean? Do you think the Packers need to add some type of veteran, even though he's like wide receiver 5 or 6 on your roster, but he can show your younger guys on what they could do versus what they shouldn't do?
No, I think they have a pretty solid coaching staff there that can do that. And we can't forget about Christian Watson. He's still hanging around. They just signed him to an extension, a 1 year extension. He'll be back, I'd say, by week 10 at least. By week 8, week 10, a lot faster than expected. So I think they all learn off each other. I think they're in a system to where I think they just give them time and they'll excel. I mean, it's more or less using your technique to get open and just trusting your quarterback. And the quarterback trusting your receiver. I think the Packers have shown a lot of their catches that they've had this season. They're pretty much wide open.
Right.
You pretty much shredded two NFC powerhouse teams first 2 games of the season. I mean it's from last season, but still it's a highly competitive teams, the Lions and the Commanders, and so we got to feel confident about that. I mean,
So where would you say your concerns lie with the Packers right at the moment? Like if you had
um,
one concern that you like, I want to fix this before week 7 or week 8 and see if it can go on from there.
I would say having a solid offensive line, because you can't be making good passes when you're constantly under pressure. If you can keep Jordan Love upright, he can make the passes. Um, our defense, you get to the quarterback within that 2 to 3 second window, and I mean, defense is just going to raise havoc on opposing teams. I mean, they had a stat with Micah Parsons, his first game for the Packers against the Lions. They said when he was in the game, the line was getting to the quarterback within like 2.4 seconds, I believe. And when he wasn't in the game, the defense was getting to the quarterback at almost 4 seconds. So that 1.5 seconds is a huge, huge factor in defense. And like I said, once you can get to that deep quarterback quicker, you're going to force him to make throws that he doesn't want to make, and he's going to cause turnovers or take a sack.
And
So
that's what we were preaching last year with Caleb Williams. The offensive line, he got sacked 65 times or some shit last year. I don't really remember the total amount, but that was the issue that we had last year. Was the offensive line just wasn't giving the quarterback time to do anything.
right,
But this year has been, I will say, it's been a breath of fresh air. The clean pockets are there. He looks like he's trusting his offensive lineman a lot more. He's not scrambling as much as he used to, which is okay for a quarterback to scramble. Sometimes you need to just make an extended play, but to have it as constant, like you just said, is not good for the quarterback. It's not good for the team. So
yeah,
it's
because
like you said.
eventually, if you have your offensive line that's letting defense get to you within that 2 to 3 second window, you're just going to start losing confidence, and it's going to affect your game. Obviously, they can say it doesn't affect them, but deep down it does.
Oh, that's what we said all last season.
Like it's like
What do you think a rookie quarterback's going to feel when his offensive line keeps having somebody in his face can't do anything?
right. Yeah, so I think the Packers will. I think they'll be good. I think they'll learn. They've always been good drafting linemen in the later rounds. They've always found a way to make it work. You look back to the COVID year when we had like all of our linemen out and people were switching around from left tackle to right guard to center to left tackle and everything. And you had Aaron
Yeah, because
Rodgers.
You got Elkin Jenkins moved from left guard to center this year, right?
Yeah. And I mean, it's just, they always seem to find a way to make their linemen versatile. And you can't tell me some of those linemen haven't played these other positions in college or high school, I mean, they know the basics, I mean, once you know the playbook and what the line is supposed to do. Like if I'm a left guard and the left tackle does this, I mean, if I get moved to left tackle, then I know what he's supposed to do or what's expected of him. So, and that's why they get coached. Obviously, so I'm confident. I think things will. I'd rather have this game like we had last week and happen early on versus later on. To be
Right.
honest. So, what are your thoughts on the Ben Johnson hiring?
Oh, it was phenomenal. When I was watching Windy City Sports Cards and Jay from Jay Bears, they were stalking the airport because they saw the plane leave from Chicago to Detroit and Detroit back to Chicago. I was
Yeah,
there was a whole live stream, bro. It was hype. I was so ready for it. And then when there was a video leak, I'm not gonna say who did it. When there was a video leak of Ben coming into the Hallis Hall and clapping it up, and all the staff was there, and how hype he was. I was like, I don't know, this feels different.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can't say it was all Ben. I'm going to start it off there. I can't say it was all Ben the 3 years in Detroit. Obviously, he's had staff help. Antoine L, who's with us now. Uh, Morton, the offensive line coach for Detroit Lions, who's now the offensive coordinator. I mean, he had help, but obviously Ben played a huge factor into doing how well the Lions did the last 3 years because he was the offensive coordinator. So what we saw at the Lions that got me genuinely excited because the Lions look different those 3 years than the Lions of old. And this year so far, even with the 1-2 record, it's been a long time since I've seen 3 games in a row where we're putting up 23, 21, 30 something points in a 3 week span. I'm not used to seeing that. And the trick plays that work, I'm not used to seeing that. So Ben Johnson was definitely a breath of fresh air. I have a lot of hope. I have a lot of optimism in it. Um, he also seems like a coach who doesn't back down from a challenge. He's willing to take on any type of football personality that's headed his way. He's open to listening, but he's also, hey, I'm here to coach you for a reason. Listen up.
Right. As a Bears fan, what was your thought with the whole Micah Parsons trade to Green Bay? Did it
I
surprise you?
No, because that fucking sorry, that dog Ricky had leaked it, and Ricky is usually on point with some of his leaks on like trades and contract extensions like that. So when I first saw it, I was like, "There's no way." I was like, "Goot doesn't do that. Goot doesn't trade for big name players. He doesn't give the big name players giant contracts like that. There's no way." And all of a sudden, we saw 2 first round picks sent. I forget the other picks, and Micah goes to Green Bay. I'm like, son of a bitch. Why is he in our league? Why Green Bay of all places? Shit. And it sucked though too, because Micah was my favorite player outside of Bears. He was my favorite all time player in the NFL at the moment. Now I have to hate him.
Yeah,
Now I
it's
have to say
crazy.
that now I have to say he's an epidural junkie. Gotta put epidurals in his back just to play football, man. What's wrong with
Yeah, it's crazy that it's crazy. It's still. I was on with Ahmad Diesel last night, a huge Packer diehard, and we still can't. I mean, we were talking. We can't believe that he's a Packer. It's like you look back to the timeline. I was kind of talking about this last night. So I was before the last Packers preseason game. I went to Lambeau and met up with a couple friends, a couple content creators. Iowa Joe from Ohana Packers that I'm podcasting under. And we're sitting in the parking lot, like Friday, mid-afternoon Friday, and a bunch of the Packers are leaving and everything after practice, and they're all, waving and saying, hey, what's up, and everything. And they're letting off fireworks off the top of the roof or the outside of Lambeau Field, right? And I look at Joe, I go, they're just getting ready to light off fireworks for the Micah Parsons announcement that they got traded. And everyone's laughed at me like, no way, man, no way. Next week, Parsons coming to Green Bay, and it's just crazy. It's like a Reggie White, Charles Woodson type player as far as like impact on a game
that?
coming to
Right.
your team. And it's just, never in a million years did I think that, my all-time favorite player, Charles Woodson, would have been a Green Bay Packer. And I followed Woodson at Michigan. I have a Woodson Raiders jersey,
Right.
and when he came to Green Bay, it's like, oh my God, it's like crazy. And people are like, oh, why would we want to come to Green Bay? You think about it, and Parsons has said several times, like in his press conferences, it's like, I came here and people are like, there's nothing to do. He's like, well, maybe that's what I needed in my life. You
Nothing to
look back.
do.
I don't know, just to focus on your game. I mean, Charles
Yeah.
Woodson, what did he do after practice? He went home and read at his place. He just read books. Versus being out in Oakland and getting in trouble with, Marquise Anderson, former Packer safety that went out to Oakland. Off the field crap. There's really no place around Green Bay to get into any trouble unless you want to go to like Milwaukee or a couple hours down south of Chicago. You pull a
Or start a
Zadarius.
bar fight.
You pull a Zadarius Smith, and Rashawn Gary back in the day when they got pulled over coming from Chicago back to Green Bay and with the THC vape pens and all that crap that were found in the truck. And there really isn't much to do around Green Bay, which is good if you want to hone in on your skill and on your craft as far as being a football player. But and you look back to the preseason games and Parsons, you could tell he was checked out. He's walking into the game, he's eating nachos, he's on
He
the
was
sideline.
sleeping on the massage bed.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
had
I
odds
mean,
in. He was like, "I'm out. I don't need to be here."
and something that people got to think about too is his agent is the same agent Jordan Love has, same agent Xavier McKinney has. So, and his former coach that knows him really well, who is now living back full time in Green Bay, Mike McCarthy. So you can't tell me there wasn't talks going on within that circle. And B, who the hell does Jerry Jones think he is to try to negotiate closed door without an agent for Micah Parsons present? I mean,
Well,
this isn't
supposedly
this
he's
isn't the
done that
fifties and the
before,
sixties.
but Micah's just smart enough to not fall for it. I mean, he did it with Zeke, he did it with Dak, he did it with CD, he did it with Bland. He did it all closed doors because that's how they all got that money. But Micah's smart. He was like, "No, I want my agent involved."
Right, and now you got Jerry Jones pointing it off like, well, he never won the Super Bowl, he never did this, never did that. Well, what has Dak done for you? What did Zeke do for you? What did
Just
CeeDee
lost to
Lamb
us
do?
is what they did for him. That's what they
You know, I,
did.
I mean, I get like maybe the only plus side of taking like a large contract in Texas is no income taxes, right? I mean, think about it. But I don't know. I'm happy he's here. I've been complaining all well, made comments about Rashawn Gary not showing up for games last year as far as like getting in the backfield and getting to the quarterback. And you get a player like Rashawn or Micah Parsons he's gonna initiate double and triple teams that we have seen. And who is the leading sacker in the NFL right now? Guy opposite of him, Rashawn Gary at 4.5
Isn't
sacks.
it, Gary?
Yeah, so I mean, he's almost halfway to the amount of sacks that he had last year through 3 games.
So if you think about it, the only comparison I can really make, just because it kind of falls in line with you guys getting a superstar player and then us getting a superstar player out of Khalil Mack.
Yep.
Now, we had Akeem Hicks and Khalil Mack. When teams were too focused on Akeem Hicks, Khalil Mack got there. When teams were too focused on Khalil Mack, Akeem Hicks got there, and that was working for you guys. If the offensive line is focused on Gary more, Parsons can get there. If the offensive line is focused on Parsons more, Rashawn's getting there, and that's been showing it. I mean, I've seen Parsons getting double, triple teamed, and then Rashawn Gary making it, and then Rashawn Gary gets double, triple teamed, and then Micah Parsons can get there.
And then you got to think about this. So then you're going to focus on Gary, you're going to focus on Parsons. Then you got Van Ness, you got Edgerrin Cooper, you got Devontae White, you got Quay Walker. I mean, you got a pretty stout front seven,
Right.
So it's the next 4 years in Green Bay defensively are looking pretty good. I'd have to say I'm pretty
Defensively.
I'm pretty confident. But you're holding teams to the lowest point total in the league right now. I mean, it's hopefully defense gets you far. I mean, they say defense wins
Right.
championships, so I mean that's all you can hope for. Hopefully, as the season goes on, if the offense kind of sputters, hopefully we can get turnovers that, are either like pick sixes or just you stop the other team from driving.
That was going to be my next question, just based off the statement you made. Hopefully, the defense is just going to continue to be exciting, continue to be exciting. So, would you say you have more excitement for your defense than your offense because you have a feeling your offense is kind of just here and not anywhere there? They're just kind of floating.
I think I have a little more confidence in our defense right now, just because of the injuries that we have on offense. Hopefully the defense can pick up and if you can get a turnover and on the opponent's within if you can get turnovers and drive down the field, maybe you can't score a touchdown, but we have a kicker we're confident in now. When years past, we had Narvis and we had uh,
Carlson.
Andres Carlson. I mean, we weren't confident in them, but McManus, he missed maybe 3 or 4 field goals all training camp. I mean, they signed him to a 3-year deal in the offseason. So for once, in my memory, we haven't complained about a kicker in the offseason like we have in the past. So huge. I just think if you maybe can't score those touchdowns because like I said, if you're sputtering, well, hopefully you can at least get field goals and keep holding the defense, or keep holding the offense from scoring. I mean,
Right.
yeah,
Points is really what it is. Points is points. It's just now you get those points, and like you said, you got to hope that defense just keeps it on, keeps their foot on the gas on making sure their offense can get back out there and try to do something, which is which has been our issue this year too, because our defense is bottom of the line. I'm not gonna lie, defensive line is not getting, they're getting the pressures, but they're not getting to the quarterback like they should be, and we're dealing with injuries on the linebacker. TJ Edwards is out for a little bit. We just got Kyler Gordon back, so that's a huge jump to our secondary because uh, Stevenson, you got Nashawn Wright, you got the other kid Nick McLeod, and we still got our safeties back there, still helpful. But when you have corners that are not Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon levels, you start questioning it because everybody's throwing on us all day. So
yeah,
yeah. So it's flipped for us. Our offense is doing its job. Our defense is just not. While you guys, your defense is doing its job, and the offense is kind of.
yeah, and hopefully this game against the Cowboys, based off of what everyone's saying and what we've seen, hopefully the defense can just Parsons can swarm and have an awesome homecoming, and get the Dak quite a bit, and hopefully the defense can force turnovers, and hopefully the offense can pick back up, where they left off, and I'd say against the Commanders. I mean, they looked decent against the Browns. It's just that the line protection on the field goal that got blocked, it was kind of
Oh,
shatty.
I was watching that game, bro. I was like, oh no. What
I was
three?
listening.
You were one of the three blocked field goals that morning, that evening
Yeah.
for the afternoon games.
And the play-by-play guys are talking for the Packers on the radio. They're like, "Yeah, the first field goal almost got blocked." I'm like, "Oh my god, he's already setting. It's something bad is gonna happen." All of a sudden, there's a snap, there's a hold, block, field goal block. I'm like, no. Even if they, I don't know. Even if they would have, I don't know. It's just, I mean, what do you do? You learn from your mistakes and you move on to the next week. Every week you want to go 1-0. I mean, you don't want to be looking ahead and saying, "Oh, we're going to go undefeated." You got to take every week as just the mentality of going 1-0 and just try to get those demons out early, I guess.
Well, it seems like the Cowboys is everybody's confidence booster right now. So if you can have a good game against the Cowboys, who knows? I mean, your confidence is going to be that high already. Like my confidence is high. I mean, the last 3 weeks, like I said, our offenses look pretty decent, pretty good.
Yeah.
The defense is just slowing us down. That needs to get figured out on our side as well.
Yeah, true North Packers fan. I'm more worried about the Packers special teams. The offense will be fine once the O line gets healthy. Yeah, I agree. It's just
So so
in,
when does Walker come back? I know Zach Tom is out for like what 2 weeks because of his torn oblique, and he's trying to get something worked on to where he can come back and play. But I didn't see any updates on Walker. Do you know anything about it?
I'm gonna look right now.
I don't understand why y'all started Zach Tom in that game anyways when he literally tore his oblique the week before. I know he said that he can continue to play, but that's on the doctors to try to sit him out. You know that's an injury, and who knows how much he frustrated that even more.
It said Green Bay Packers left tackle Rasheed Walker was limited in practice on Thursday due to a quadriceps injury, but participated fully in practice on Friday and will not have
Okay,
injury designation for Sunday's game against the Cowboys. So it sounds like he might be
that's good.
back.
So
Um,
the only person you're missing is Zach Tom then.
yeah. But yeah, I just it's through 3 weeks. It is what it is. Like anything, you learn and you move on. You learn from your mistakes and you move on. It's just what life is, right?
That's how we were the first 2 weeks. We thought the world was ending. We were just like, oh no, this is the same thing last year. Da, 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 da. But at the end of the day, it's 3 weeks. Dude, I really don't start to panic until week 5 or after the bye week. We'll see how we play against Washington. I know we got the Raiders, but the Washington game is huge on both sides just because of what happened last year.
Hey, yeah,
I told somebody, I was like, if Stevenson looks at somebody funny, yank him, get him out of there before something
you know,
happens.
it's funny you mentioned that because I was scrolling through my feed today and that play came up where he's sitting there jabbing at the fans or whatever, and all of a sudden you got Jay Daniels scrambling back and forth, kind of like a la Aaron Rodgers against the Lions how many years ago when he threw that Hail Mary in Sunday night, Monday Night Football, whatever it was, and but this one it got tipped to a guy who was like 5 yards past everybody else and caught the winning touchdown and um yeah, it's just it's crazy. I'm just I don't know. I just hope the defense can step up and the offense can get back on track and hopefully we
And you
can
know
come out.
what? People think I hate Jaden Daniels when I talk shit about the Commanders. They're like, you just hate Jaden Daniels because you got Caleb Williams paints his fingernails in the internet. I was like, no, I hate you guys. I don't like the fans. You guys, you guys are annoying.
Yeah, and we're also missing Anthony Belton and probably Aaron Banks on the offensive line tomorrow. So I mean, yeah, but hopefully against uh this Cowboys
Banks was
defense.
a surprise signing. You guys paid him all that money, and the guy can't even win 1v1s.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll see. You know it's yeah, it was a gamble, and hopefully it's not looking like it's paying off early, but hopefully it will pay off
We
in the near future.
we overpaid somebody too. I even though I like the player, I thought it was a huge overpay. I think it was like 4 years, close to $50 million contract for Deo Adengbo, the defensive end that was with the Colts for his first 4 years. When we signed him, I was like, "That's a great signing," but 48 million though, I don't know if I'd pay him 48.
Yeah. Um, what do you think the identity of the Bears will be this year?
Uh, I would say not quitting and not quitting and accountability, because that was the big thing last year. Is that towards? I mean, obviously all the players were out on Eberflus before the Thanksgiving game, the one that he got fired afterwards. But you could just tell that sometimes the players were either playing for themselves, or when they got to the sideline, they didn't want nothing to do with the coach. And the accountability thing as well is that they're no longer, what they asked for in a head coach was accountability, and I mean that's what we're getting. Ben Johnson's saying that he's calling his own mistakes. So, and he is pushing on the players to own up to your mistakes, uh, and just next play mentality. And that's what we didn't see a lot last year, with accountability and next play mentality. Once like they got the third down, fourth down, you can see like some of the players kind of giving up both offensively and defensively. So I think our identity is accountability and next play mentalities all the way through.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Do you think Odunze and DJ Moore will both surpass 1,000 yards each in receiving?
As of right now, Odunze is projected to get 1,300 yards on the season, projected. Just by the way his pace is going. I think once the offense starts clicking more, the more DJ will get involved. He got his first touchdown last week. I think he got like 60 something receiving yards out of like 4 receptions or something like that. But I'm going to say I am 30-70 on it, because I can see the potential of a Dunze and Moore being a duo 1,000-yard receiving, but you can see the immediate clicking between Rome and Caleb right now. These two are just lights out when it comes to each other. So I would say DJ Moore gets close to it, maybe 800, 900 yards on the season, but I know for sure if Odunze is going to pace he is, he'll get to that 1,000.
Right. As far as like the Packers, everyone's like, "Oh, well, you guys don't have a true wide receiver number one." It's like you don't really need one. Against the Lions, we had at halftime 8 different targets, 8 different guys caught a ball, and I mean it's just and we have a tight end that's at one point he had 108 yards receiving,
On one
and the
game.
and the and the and the
It was great.
Commanders had and the Commanders had 101 yards total. I mean, he had more yards receiving than the Commanders had total. I mean, so everyone trying to put all this pressure on the Packers. You need a wide receiver. One, no, you don't. You just need to have everybody as a team catch balls and be productive. I mean, if you don't have a 1,000-yard receiver, it's not the end of the world as long as you have multiple guys at the position, producing.
That's a good thing you brought up too. Is that what I was excited about last week? Is that all four of Caleb's touchdowns came from four different receivers. So if that's not passing the ball around, I don't know what is.
Right. Um, what do you think made the 1985 team so special?
I don't know. I didn't live that far ago. I didn't live that long ago, so I really don't. So it's hard for me living in the modern era now to feel like what the vibes were back in the 1985 era. Um, but I've always asked my parents because they saw it, they witnessed it. Asked my grandparents, asked anybody else who's older than me who witnessed '85, and people were just telling me it was different because they were really punky. They were like really, you know what I mean? I guess punky. They were very confident in themselves. Like you, I guess the way they handle themselves in interviews and football games and events. I mean, the Super Bowl shuffle before going to the Super Bowl. I mean, how much do you got to whip it out and slap it on the table saying that you're gonna make it? You know what I mean?
Right.
So
I
I
don't know.
think,
A
yeah,
scary defense for sure, and a good offense. So I mean, it's
I
what you
think we
need,
still hold the record for only allowing 5 yards rushing in a Super Bowl era.
right?
I
That's
think we still hold that
crazy.
record.
Yeah, that's nuts to think about. How do you think the NFC North will finish this year, 1 through 4?
You want a biased and unbiased?
You can just be whatever you want, man.
So unbiased, of course, I'm putting the Bears there, Lions, Vikings, Packers. If you guys are at the bottom, I would just love it. But if I was going to be completely unbiased, the way things are looking right now, I'm going to have to put the Lions at first. They had that
Yeah,
bad week. They had that bad first week, and of course, they had that good game against us in the second week. And then they fought the entire way in their last week of the game. Is that they're still showing fight? I mean, there's still stars there. There's Jared Goff, Amon Ra, Jameson Williams, Demo, and Gibbs. You still got all that talent there. I think the Lions are going to get it, and I think it's going to be the Packers, Bears, and Vikings. But my hot take is that we're all going to be above 500.
yeah, and I'd always like to say last year we went 1-5 again in the NFC North, whatever. Um, but I think this year, I think we'll finish 1 or 2. I guess we don't hang banners on division titles. We hang on Super Bowls. And I think as long as wherever we finish, as long as you make the playoffs, that's all you need. You look back, 2010 wild card team ran the table against every team you played against. So I mean, as long as they can make the playoffs, that's all I care about.
Just get somewhere postseason, baby. It's all you got to do. I will
Yeah,
say, the NFC North, if all four teams played like they did, even your guys' game last week, I mean, even though you're facing pretty much the number one defense in the league right now, you guys got points on the board. And the last 2 weeks, you guys put up 20, both games put up 27 points. So
yeah,
you're averaging 24, 25 points a game so far for the rest of the year. And the, I think the NFC North is just going to be a gauntlet for any team that comes to our division and try to play us. They're going to get hit in the mouth. They're going to get scored on. But it's an exciting year for this division itself.
for sure. You mentioned the game last week. We gave up 13 points in how many minutes? Whatever. It is what it is. But I mean, it was tied. And Jordan Love drove that team down, got him in field goal range. I mean, he did his job in crunch time. It's just, the collapse of the left side of the line, so I mean, it's like,
Right.
you know, simple mistakes that can be fixed, hopefully with, coaching.
And like we keep saying, we're in week 4. Make those mistakes now before you start really competing for postseason.
Absolutely. And, one thing I love to see is the,
No way I'm getting up early to watch Rodgers versus the Vikings tomorrow.
yeah. Yeah, I don't think I'll be up early to watch it either. Maybe I will just to see him scorch the Vikings, hopefully. But
I'll just look up the scores. I got to help somebody move in the morning.
yeah, I might be watching. Depends on what time I get up. What time my kids get me up.
Isn't that a 10
Um,
o'clock game? Eastern. It's like 9 o'clock your time, 10 o'clock
No,
my time. I think,
no,
isn't it?
they're over in London or they're over in Dublin.
Yeah. So what's the start time on your end? 9.
I don't even know.
I have to look it up. I know it's early. I think it's 10 o'clock my time. If you don't know, I'm in Florida. I know you know, but talking to the
Yeah,
viewers.
I'm just trying to look here, and I don't know. I might watch it. I don't know. It depends. Like I said, if I'm up, I'll watch it probably.
So
Depends on
you
what
know
I
what? Yeah, I'll say that too. If I'm up and I feel like just putting it on, I'll probably put it on just to see what
have.
it's looking like.
I think I'd be more apt to watch it than. Well, I mean, you too, because you got the Bears. I mean, just to see how the Vikings hopefully get dismantled by Aaron Rodgers. That'd be
Yeah,
kind of
because
cool.
they're starting Carson Wentz again. So
Yeah, but yeah, it's crazy. It's just so mind blowing to see like Aaron going through these different teams after his Green Bay career. It's just he still wants to play, obviously. So
right, he still wants to play that way. He can have money to pay for his drugs when he retires.
in his dark retreat,
He's gonna go
um,
live in the mountains of Brazil.
right in the mountains of Peru.
He's gonna go
I'm
visit the shamans.
gonna do one last segment here before we go. It's like a Bears rapid fire, just 10 quick questions, short answers if you want, and then
I'll do my best.
all
I'll
right.
try to lock in.
Who has a bigger season, Odunze or Moore?
Odunze.
Ben Johnson first year patience or playoffs?
Patience.
Tougher rival this year, Lions or Packers?
Well, you already lost to the Lions, so I'm going to say Lions right now. We haven't played you guys yet, so I don't know what it looks going to look like.
No, you said your biased opinion, but who's winning the North? Realistic, or are you guys going to win the North or winning the NFC North? Is it realistic or wishful?
I'm going to say wishful for this year. Wishful for this year.
Okay. Best word to describe Bears fans.
As of right now, obnoxious. Obnoxious. I love and hate our fan base, man. I do.
What is one word to describe Packer fans?
In the words of Thumper and Bambi, if my mom said I have nothing nice to say at all, don't say anything. No, you
What
guys are
is your
fun. I always have fun with Packer fans when I watch football games.
Hey, right on, man. Favorite team uniform combo?
Oh, that's good. Favorite team uniform combo. Eagles, Kelly Green.
No, I mean for the Bears.
Oh, for us.
Yeah,
Um, I kind of like our Navy. I would love to see the all Navy again and maybe the all white. So right now, off the top of my head, I go all Navy.
yeah. I like the Packers whiteout ones with the white helmets. They have the little gold flakes in it
I
up
want a
close.
whiteout helmet so bad, bro.
That and then the ones they're going to be wearing this year, the throwback to 1923 uniforms where the helmets
Yeah.
look like leather.
Way
So
to copy Illinois. You guys want to be us so bad, you had to copy Illinois' old out uniform.
yeah, okay. What was the Bears' best offseason move this
Ben
last year?
Johnson. Ben Johnson, right off rip, hiring him as the head coach as soon as we could. I think that was our best offseason move for the moment.
Bring back the orange popsicle colors for the Buccaneers. Hell yeah.
Those were nice. I do love the orange pops for the Bucks.
Yeah. Past current player, Bears player, you would trust the most to babysit your kids.
Joe Tooney. Right now, I'd put Joe Tooney. I'd let him watch my kids.
All right. And last one, your favorite game day snack/drink.
My game day drink has always been Crown Apple and Sprite. Love me Crown. I have pretty much all of the flavors of Crown that you could have. And my go-to snack is probably either cheese fries or wings. One of those two.
Awesome. Can't go wrong with the cheese fries or the wings, for
Oh
sure.
no, I love carbs. Might as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, Tell people where they can find you at on social media.
Just right there, the Oso Smoke. So it's OSO capital S M with the zero ES. You can find me just like that. And my Twitter handle name is Sports and Smokes.
Yeah, it's a bear smoking a cigar. So yeah,
Courtesy of a buddy of mine, I asked him to draw me up a little profile picture, and that's what he did for me. So I appreciated that.
yeah, I like that. I like that picture. Absolutely. Well, listen, man, I want to thank you for being on, and best of luck to your team this next weekend, and hopefully I can have you on later on in the season, and go pack, go, right?
Thanks for the invite, man. I appreciate it. I always have a fun time when I'm on here with you, and it's always never go pack go. It's always bear down, baby. That's how we're gonna do it. I can't wait to go 2-0 on you in 2025, buddy.
Oh,
I just
stop
hate that
it.
we have to play so far in the year. Why do they? 2 years in a row they've done that to us. Let us play
Yeah,
us early again.
yeah. Game time to be determined. It's like, come on, man. People have to plan ahead, you know.
But no, 2-0 in 2025. I'm calling it.
I don't
We'll win the
believe you.
first. We'll win the first game buckets. We'll go back to Caleb's field.
Right. I don't think so. All right, man. You have a good rest of your day, okay?
Take it easy, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, you too. Thanks.